Good day, I'm Dr. Mrs. Adewoyin Oluyinka Benedicta. We are looking at the course CSH 507, and the topic to be considered today is quality attributes. Quality attributes are all the attributes that describes and connotes that an harvested produce has the necessary required attributes of quality that has been set as a standard for such produce. Quality attributes includes number one, appearance. This is evaluation of quality by sense of sight, shape, wholesomeness, and pattern. It includes quality such as the shape of the produce. The shape of the produce must not deviate from the typical accepted standard set for that produce. It must not have any damage or bruise, e.g., cucumber are supposed to be elongated in shape and also robust, not sickle or twisted in shape. Another quality attribute is size. Each produce has its acceptable size. For instance, pawpaw, pineapple, orange, banana, plantain, they have their acceptable size. Banana must not be tiny or thin. It must be robust and plump. If the banana finger is slim, it will not be acceptable by the consumer. Another quality attribute that is very important is color. Each produce has its acceptable color. For instance, for vegetables that are green in color, the color must be green. It must not be yellowish. For instance, for amaranthus, celosia, and cockroach, the color is usually deep green, and if it deviates to yellow, it will not be acceptable by the consumer. Each produce must show the true color of the product in terms of lightness, transparency, turbidity, and glossy nature. For instance, apple, particularly in Nigeria, is greenish yellow for some variety, while some variety are reddish. This particular color, when it's getting to very light yellow, the product may be unacceptable. Also, we have wholesomeness. This involves the sanitary factor of the product. It must not contain insect egg, spots, cuts, bruises. It has to be clean without any impurities, extraneous matters, sediments of soil or specks. The product must be whole product, not part of a whole. For instance, in case of cashew nuts, it must be a whole product. Another quality attribute is pattern. This also describes shape and size. It should follow the specific pattern peculiar to that product. Quality attributes determines whether consumer will accept the produce or they are going to reject it. Another important quality factor is the texture. This is the hand and mouth feel assessment of quality by sense of touch and taste. It also indicates coarseness or crispness, firmness or turbidity, juiciness or dryness, fibrous or chewiness, softness, mildness or stickiness. Consistency may also be considered as a proportion of the produce. Appearance and texture can be measured by a team of experts ranging in order of quality of importance. It is therefore a very elusive factor to measure quality because it is dependent on individual judgment. Texture is very important. For instance, in carrots, the carrot must be crispy. It must not be soft and flabby. This means of measurement is usually referred to as organoleptic test. This involves a team of experts evaluating the produce to determine whether it meets standard or not. Another important quality attribute is flavor. This is quality evaluation by the sense of taste or smell. It refers to terms such as odor, fragrance, acid, bounty or gritty, taste, sweet, soft, bitter, salty or bland. Terms such as off flavor, enzymatic reactions, physiological deterioration and chemical contamination, overcooked taste or stale. Apple should have a crunchy texture and a sweet flavor, while pomegranate should have a juicy texture and a sweet tart flavor. Strawberry should have a juicy texture and sweet flavor. Tomato typically is juicy and firm, but can range from soft and mushy to hard and crunchy feel. Cucumber are typically crunchy and juicy, while carrot too is crunchy and sweet. Beetroot are firm and sweet. Cabbage is crunchy, slightly bitter, while lettuce is crisp and slightly bitter. Ginger and turmeric are fibrous in the mouth and slightly spicy. Enzymatic reaction also occur in harvested produce, resulting in undesirable flavor. Example of enzymic action is that of the tomato flavor, which is catalyzes by hydroperoxide. To enhance sales, these quality factors are essential for market acceptability and consumer choice. Sometimes, consumer may buy or reject a produce due to the appearance, but to continue sales, the nutritional aspects of the produce must be up to standard, or else people will discontinue sales. Repeated purchases are driven by expected quality factors determined by flavor, compound, and texture. Producers are interested in the sales of their produce, and therefore the quality attributes cannot be underestimated if sales will be repeated. For instance, if I go to market, I bought tomato from somebody, and on getting home I found out that the taste is not appropriate according to standard. The next time I'm going to market, I will not patronize that tomato seller. So it goes for all produce. Another important quality attribute is nutritional value. This quality attribute is very important in ascertaining produce composition. It includes protein content, amino acid composition, mineral and vitamins content, juice content, total soluble solids and vitamin C. Vitamin C content varies in fruits and vegetables from 1 to 150 mg. In berry, it ranges from 14 to 103 mg per 100 gram. The texture of tomato is majorly contributed by the insoluble solid derived from cell wall, which determine the consistency, smoothness and juiciness of the fruit. Example of fat-rich fruits and nuts are avocado, here, cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, hazelnuts, almond, walnut, Brazil nut and chestnut. Example of fruit rich in fiber are mango, orange, papaya, sweet lime and watermelon. Also, apple, grains such as soybean, green peas, green beans, vegetables are good source of fiber. Fruits and vegetable contains a lot of vitamin A. It is obtained from fruit and vegetables such as carrots, pumpkin, peach and mango. Riboflavin also is the central component of flavor protein. It can be obtained from beans, beetroot, pepper and spinach. Niacin is derived from almond, avocado and cape gooseberries. Vitamin B12 is obtained from meat, potato, oat cereals, tomato products and whole grain. Vitamin B6 is a cofactor in transformation of decarboxylation and deamination reaction, formation of ethylene precursors. Synthesis in plants require pyridoxal phosphate, and it is contained in harvested produce such as beans, cabbage, cauliflower, spinach, sweet potato, grape, avocado and banana. It also occurs in peas, beans, nuts, broccoli, mushroom, potato, strawberry and sweet potato. Folic acid is essential for production and normal growth. It is present in strawberry, tomato, avocado, spinach, cabbage and other green vegetables. Another important topic we are also going to consider is quality deterioration. Having known the quality attributes, what are factors responsible for quality deterioration? This is associated with advanced spoilage. Any change in food quality or the optimum quality is referred to as spoilage. The major causes of food spoilage or deterioration are microorganisms, natural food enzymes, insects, rodents and parasites, heat and cold, moisture and dryness, air, light and time. First of all, we are going to consider the activities of microorganisms. Activities of microorganisms are very important in the deterioration of harvested produce. Several thousands of microorganisms are useful in food processing and fermentation, while many others have undesirable changes in produce. These undesirable changes are referred to as spoilage. During such processes, shelf life of harvested produce are shortened. Microorganisms are found on plants, in soils, during growth stages, on the field, distorting roots and leaves of produce, thereby reducing yield and loss of quality. After harvest, microorganism activities continued on the peels of the harvested produce, on the ends of the handles, and in the water used in washing. Microorganism activities are very important because it causes losses to farmers even during field and after harvest. Another important factor in deterioration of quality includes natural food enzyme. This is also an important cause of food spoilage. Natural food enzymes like microorganisms are controlled by heat, cold, dryness, moisture level, chemicals, and radiation. Treatments applied to inactivate microorganisms will partially or completely destroy enzymes. To inactivate natural enzymes are present in harvested food crops, without which germination of fruits may not be possible. Also, fruit maturation is activated by enzyme. This enzymic reaction persists after maturation and after harvest. Some of these enzymes may be more active in fruits such as pepper, tomato, plantain, and banana, resulting in fruit deterioration after harvest. It is not in all cases that cold temperature is required to preserve harvested produce. For example, if avocado pear is stored in the refrigerator or in the freezer, it turns black without ripening because the respiratory pattern is distorted. There are other biological processes taking place resulting in deterioration. So the method of inactivation of food enzymes depend on the type of fruit or produce. Another important factor in quality deterioration is insects, rodents, and parasites. The effects of insects, rodents, and parasites depend on the environment. These factors can be controlled easily by ensuring appropriate environment free from pest invasion compared to microorganisms. Insects and rodents do physical damage to harvested produce in the field and after harvest. Insects feed on the vegetative part of the produce, thereby reducing yield. Some of the insects, like aphid, transmit microorganisms to the produce in the field. They also feed on the sap, thereby distorting the biological activities of the plants or the produce in the field. After harvest, the activities of insects, rodents, and parasites continued. For instance, rats feed on produce in the store. They contaminate the produce through their feces and urine, and consumption of this produce may result in health hazards. Heat and cold. Increase in temperature can double the rate of chemical and enzymic actions and increase microorganism invasion in harvested produce. For instance, vitamin A, vitamin C, and riboflavin are easily lost under high temperature. Under cold temperature, banana, avocado here blackens in the freezer. During thawing, the skin of some produce like tomato breaks. Not only that, some harvested produce suffered what we call chilling injury when subjected to too cold environments. Banana should be stored under condition where the temperature ranges between 10 degrees centigrade to 15 degrees centigrade. Another important quality deterioration is moisture and dryness. When a produce absorbs water, it loses quality and becomes moist. An example of such is caking and lumping in stored grain like soybean, rice, maize, wheat, sorghum. Moisture pickup occurs during thawing also at cold temperature, but without control of relative humidity, which allow moisture dense over the surface of the produce, consequently resulting in rapid multiplication of microorganisms. These microorganisms also perpetrate more deteriorative activity in the harvested produce. Another important factor is air. Oxygen in the air can be destructive due to its high oxidative power. It can result in off color, which is essential for harvested produce. Also, it supports the growth of microorganisms, especially mold, which grows on the surfaces of produce. Air can be controlled by waxing of fruits or packaging the fruit in impermeable plastic packaging material. The fruit can also be packaged in vacuum packaging by removing oxygen and supplementing with nitrogen. Light. Some vitamins such as vitamin A, vitamin C, and riboflavin are destroyed by light, and the only way to control this is to use dark color container for storage. Vitamin A, vitamin C, and riboflavin under light change color of the food. They also react with lipids, fats, and oil. Another important factor is time. All the mentioned factors occurred under time. All reactions proceed with time. As long as produce remains in storage, the rate of deterioration increases. Produce have to be preserved at the peak of the quality, and this is not possible due to time. It is always better to consume food as soon as possible in order to prevent losses. But it is not often possible due to time, because it takes time to transport produce from the farm to the wholesaler, from the wholesaler to the retailer, before getting to the consumer. The time it takes to carry out these activities may result in deterioration of the produce. Loss of quality happens due to time. Time is needed to produce toxic substances. Exposure of food to cold or heat takes time, and the length of time affects deterioration. In some food industry, fermentation may be beneficial in producing required flavor and aroma, because it will take time for the aroma and the flavor to develop. So time is advantageous in such case. But in terms of keeping quality of produce, as long as the produce is kept in storage, there is probability of deterioration. All deterioration takes time, and all processes leading to deterioration must be arrested on time. Thank you. We shall be going to another important topic, which is factors, the pre-harvest factors resulting in quality deterioration. Pre-harvest factors resulting in quality deterioration. Site selection. Site selection is very important in the quality of harvested produce. The soil property of a given site for crop production will determine the time, the ultimate compositional and physical quality of the harvested produce. Appropriate site selection free from heavy metals, toxic materials, and adequate fertility level is very essential for maximum quality. The soil should be analyzed and the soil condition determined before planting. Planting period. The quality of crops planted during the dry season differ in size, firmness, fiber content, and nutritional composition compared to those cultivated in rainy season, when there is inadequate water availability for chemical processes necessary for plant growth and development. For instance, during the rainy season, vegetable produce during rainy season are usually bigger, more vigorous, and attractive compared to those grown during the dry season, where moisture availability is low. Irrigation. Some crops are not drought resistant, hence yield decrease in terms of size and nutritional composition after short period of water stress. Proper irrigation planning is crucial for optimum crop development and adequate nutritional composition of harvested produce. Efficient water management scheme is vital to maintaining quality crop and maximum yield. It is observed that deficit irrigation reduces fruit water accumulation and fresh yield of tomato. Another important factor is pruning. Pruning is done to control the number of flowers and fruits by reducing the competition between fruits. Pruning therefore ensures nutrients are channeled to free fruits, which can lead to increased fruit size and increased sugar content of fruit in some cases. On the other hand, the effect of pruning on the other hand, may result in seed development stage, fruit to leaf ratio, truss position and genetic composition. What I mean is that pruning ensures that nutrients are channeled to fewer fruits. Despite that fact, the quality traits of that fruit, that is the genetic composition of that fruit, will also have a major role to play in determining the size and the composition of the fruit. Another important factor is maturity stage. Fruit maturity stage influence the total antioxidant capacity of the produce. These changes are determined by crop type and the stage of maturity. For example, in tomato, pepper, mango, total antioxidant capacity increase as carotenoid and vitamin C accumulate during ripening. The shelf life of tomato is longest when harvested at green mature stage. Delay between harvest and consumption or processing can result in loss of flavor and nutritional quality. The magnitude of these losses increase with exposure to inappropriate temperature, relative humidity, moisture, oxygen, and heat. During ripening, anthocyanins accumulate while phenolic acid decrease in products in which anthocyanins or chlorophyll dominate. Carotenoid decreases during development. In cherry, ascorbic acid accumulates during ripening. Another important factor is climatic condition. Many plants are very sensitive to environmental condition, and thus quality will not be optimized when crops are produced under adverse conditions. Poor weather at harvest time affect the operation and functionality of harvesting machines and also labor.